Hello, and welcome to your weekly juice. Tips and advice on how to boost your confidence, conquer self-doubt, and keep you pumped all week. I'm Louisa Jewell, author of Wire Your Brain for Confidence, The Science of Conquering Self-Doubt. And this month, I am going to be featuring a number of weekly juices in honor of International Women's Day on March 8th. And so I want to talk a little bit more about women and women's health and women's empowerment this month. Today, I wanted to let you know about a very disturbing statistic that, when I heard about it, really bothered me. And that is, did you know that women are twice as likely as men to become depressed? That means that women have double the rate of depression that men do. And that really concerned me when I first heard that particular statistic. And so I started to delve into the research to understand why. Why do women have twice the likelihood of depression? Now, there are many researchers who have come up with different hypotheses, like, women have more hormones, more hormonal, ups and downs and fluctuations. Not true. Men have just as many hormonal fluctuations as women do. There's other, things around women are more likely to be abused when they're younger, and so this may contribute to female depression, which actually can be a contributor to female depression. We do know depression in general, the more traumas that you experience in your lifetime, then you do become more prone over time to falling into a depression. But Susan Nolan Hoeksema, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but she was a researcher at Yale, and she delved into this research to understand why are women twice as likely as men to become depressed. And do you know what her answer was? It was that women have more of an emotional, ruminative style after a bad event. So what does that mean? That means women ruminate more than men. What are ruminations? Ruminations are when something happens to you and you think about it over and over and over again. Sometimes you can't even get it out of your head. Or you go home at night, you go to bed, and you're still thinking about that thing that happened to you, and you're still thinking about it the next day. You just can't get this out of your head. Now, a lot of women think that they're actually trying to solve the problem, that they're actually, if they can rethink it over and over, that it's going to help them solve the problem, but it actually makes things worse. When you ruminate, what we know is that you actually think of more negative things from your past. You think that you've had more negative things happen to you from your past. When you're ruminating all the time, you tend to talk about your problems all the time, and people lose friends that way because oftentimes, you don't want to be hanging out with someone who's just talking about the same problem over and over and over again. We also know that people who ruminate are not self-compassionate. They're more critical of themselves, or they're more negative. They beat up on themselves more. So, and we also know that when you ruminate over something that happened yesterday, that's going to affect your performance today. So if you want to be on your game and productive, rumination is not going to help you. So I've already posted some tips on how to reduce rumination on my weekly juice before and on my weekly blog. So if you haven't seen episode 11 on how to have more constructive self-talk, because how we speak to ourselves after a bad event, very important for ruminations. And also episode 13, the elastic technique. So take a look at those and you'll already get some tips on how to reduce ruminations. But I want to give you one more tip today. And that is that did you know when you are in a negative mood or a negative state of mind, you are actually more prone to ruminating. It is much more difficult for you to come out of a ruminative state or ruminations that are going on in your head that you can't stop. It's much more challenging if you are in a negative state. So what you want to do is you want to be able to distract yourself and put yourself in a more positive space. So how do you do that? When you find yourself ruminating, the first step is you need to become aware. So that's step number one. If you're not even aware, these thoughts can be so automatic for us that we don't even realize we're doing it, do we? And so first step, become aware. Say, aha, I recognize that I'm ruminating right now. And then try to get yourself into a positive state. So what's a quick hit that you can give yourself that always puts you in a positive state? Well, for me, it's petting my dog, right? That always puts me in a positive state. Something bad happens, I'm going to distract, I'm going to go pet my dog. Get out there for a walk in nature. Nature's a great way to replenish yourself and get yourself back into positive emotion. For me, 70s disco. All I have to do is put on some YouTube 70s disco, Earth, Wind, and Fire, something that gets me dancing. That instantly puts me in a positive mood. And gratitude, feeling grateful for my life, can also put me in a positive mood. So see if there's something that you can do that can kick you out of your funk, because then you will be in a much better position physiologically and mentally to be able to stop your ruminations. So I hope that tip was helpful, and stay tuned for more tips on how to reduce your ruminations this month, again in honor of International Women's Day. And soon I've got a big announcement to make with regards to a new tool and a new online series of workshops that I'm going to do on how you can get rid of your ruminations for the rest of your life. Gone, done, been there, and not part of your life anymore. And when that day happens, I'm telling you, it is a glorious day. It is a glorious day. And yes, you can train yourself on how to get rid of your ruminations. So I hope this has been helpful. And if it was, please share this with your friends. And I will see you next week on my next weekly juice. And in the meantime, go kick some butt. All right, see you next time.